Yay, church.
Sorry, David. Start.
That's okay. I've been threatening for some time when that thing hit 0, we all ought to stand up and yell, "Yay, church," or something. All right, well, glad you're here. Welcome to the class period on Sunday night. This is my last time, yay. And y'all will be with Nathan Whitaker for several weeks after this. And he'll take you through the last book of the Psalms being broken up into books. We're in the book 4, and if you remember last week, we covered Psalms 90, which was the Psalm of Moses, and I think we did a couple of others as well. Tonight I thought we'd do something a little different. Music is just huge, and for God to give us the ability to sing was just a wonderful gift. And music means a lot to me. It means a lot to my family. I have a daughter who teaches music. I have a son-in-law who teaches music at the high school and middle school and elementary levels. And our family has always sung. And it means a lot in a congregation to sing together. There's just something about singing a song instead of just saying the words that lifts you, it encourages you, it helps you feel better sometimes, it helps you during hard times. We're going to sing tonight. Not always, but we're going to sing songs. And what I've tried to do is we're going to walk through some of the Psalms, the rest of the Psalms that are in this book, the book 4 of Psalms. We're going to walk through some of those Psalms, and then I've tried to pick songs that dealt with the theme of that. Some of them lifted right from the words from that Psalm. Some of them just deal with the theme. And so I know we all have masks on, and I know we're all spread out, but we're going to sing, and I'll just say let's just do our best. That's all we can do, right? I'm not going to ask you to all come in, which is what I would normally do if we were in COVID, right? I'd say, hey, let's all get in and sing together, but y'all might not like that. So we'll just do it from here and sing some tonight. As I said last week, I wanted to say this. At the end of this class, if you need to take of the Lord's Supper, you can go out that door around to the lobby on the far, just around the hallway to the lobby. There's a classroom right off of the lobby there, and someone will be there to serve you. All right, so let's get started. There's not a whole lot of Psalms in this book. It's one of the few books, it's of the 4 books of Psalms, it has the least number of Psalms in it. And so we're going to go through most of them tonight and then sing a song that helps keep the theme going in our minds. So the first one we're going to start with is Psalms 91. And as we talked about last week, we talked about how Nathan's going to talk over the next few times, Book 5, which talks about just absolute praise of God. Book 4 talks about praise of God, but it explains why you do it. And that's because God reigns. He reigns. And we say that and say, God reigns, but what that means is He's Lord. That means He's over everything. And so we're going to read through that in a lot of these Psalms. We're going to hear the Psalter talk about how God reigns. And so I've kind of started each Psalm we're going to do with a little sentence that I tried to sum up what the writer's trying to say. So Psalms 91 is where we're going to go first. So if you don't mind turning there. And I said, He reigns because of who He is. So let's read some of Psalms 91. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High symbolizing, He's above all else. He has no challenger. Will abide in the shadow of the Almighty. That's the word Shaddai. All sufficient. He's an overpowerer, able to do all of His purposes. I will say to the Lord, Lord is the word Yahweh, who brings into existence whatever exists. He's the creator of everything. He's the keeper of all promises. My refuge and my fortress, very personal, my refuge. He's our comforter. My fortress, he's our protector. My God in whom I trust. That's intimately possessive. My God in whom I trust. You know, on one level, he's the God of everything, right? Even the people who don't believe he's the God of anything. He's the God of everything. But when you say my God, you're saying, and I acknowledge, I ascribe to that he is God, that he is the creator of everything and over everything. And he made me uniquely, he made you uniquely, and he knows you intimately. Let's move on to verse 14. We're not going to read all of them. I'd love to because they're beautiful, but we're not going to read all the verses in these Psalms. But let's move to 14. Because he has loved me, therefore I will deliver him. I will set him securely on high because he has known my name. If you'll remember last week, we talked about the idea of knowing my name means I know him intimately. If I know your name, I know about you. He will call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will rescue him and honor him. With a long life, I will satisfy him and let him see my salvation. So our first song tonight is I Will Call Upon the Lord. I will call upon the Lord. Turn to Psalm 94. He reigns and he will righteously judge all things. We're going to read the first 11 verses of this. O Lord, God of vengeance, shine forth. Rise up, O judge of the earth. Render recompense to the proud. How long shall the wicked, O Lord, how long shall the wicked exult? They pour forth words, they speak arrogantly. All who do wickedness vaunt themselves. Do we not have that going on in our age? Every time you turn the news on, right? It was going on then too. It's always been going on. That's human nature. They crush your people, O Lord, and afflict your heritage. They slay the widow and the stranger and murder the orphans. They have said, the Lord does not see, nor does the God of Jacob pay heed. Pay heed, you senseless among the people, and when will you understand, stupid ones? He who planted the ear, does he not hear? He who formed the eye, does he not see? He who chastens the nations, will he not rebuke? Even he who teaches man's knowledge? The Lord knows the thoughts of man, that they are a mere breath. When I thought about that, this is something that, I don't know, it probably comes to you too, maybe it doesn't, but I see it. I see people at work, I see people in the world. It seems like that they openly flaunt God. They openly act like he doesn't exist. And yet, I look at them and they seem to be getting along fine. And you wonder, how long, God? How long? And even especially when they treat someone who is a Christian with contempt because of their belief. How long are you going to let that continue, God? Oh, God of vengeance. That's kind of what the writer was thinking here. The song I picked is a song that comes to mind whenever this occurs to me, whenever these thoughts occur to me. And we don't sing this much, I don't think, but when I was a kid, every Sunday, well, not every Sunday afternoon, but I think twice a month, we would go to an old folks home and sing. Did y'all do that growing up? Oh, always, right? And we'd all gather around, and I remember, I was a little kid, but I was singing alto with my mom. She's a great alto, and my voice hadn't changed yet, so I was singing alto. And I can remember sitting there, or standing there, and this song was asked to be sung every time. When you'd say, who wants to sing us, what song do you want us to sing? Farther Along. And so this song was just kind of burned in my head when I was a kid. But this song comes to mind when I think about that situation, when I think about someone who is seemingly just in total defiance of God, but when I see them, I don't see them suffering for that right now. And I want them to. I'm sorry, but I do. This song speaks to that, especially verse 1, so we're going to sing that. Tempted and tried, we're all made to wonder why it should leave us all the day long, while there are others living about us, never molested, though in the wrong. Farther along we'll know all about it. Farther along we'll understand why. Cheer up, my brother, live in the sunshine. We'll understand it all by and by. That phrase, cheer up, that's what we always sing it. Cheer up, live in the sunshine. That's what comes to mind in those situations. Cheer up, Dave, live in the sunshine. All right, we'll move on. Psalms 96. He reigns and he deserves our worship. We're going to read it starting at the beginning. Sing to the Lord a new song. And don't worry, we're not going to sing the new song, okay? We got another one. I didn't think we could do that. I could pull it off. So, sing to the Lord a new song. Sing to the Lord all the earth. Sing to the Lord, bless his name. Proclaim good tidings of his salvation from day to day. Tell of his glory among the nations, his wonderful deeds among all the peoples. For great is the Lord and greatly to be praised. He is to be feared above all gods. For all the gods of the people are idols, but the Lord made the heavens. Splendor and majesty are before him. Strength and beauty are in his sanctuary. Ascribe to the Lord, O families of the peoples. Ascribe to the Lord glory and strength. Ascribe to the Lord the glory of his name. Bring an offering and come into his courts. That ascribe really, really struck me. Ascribe to the Lord what he's due. Too often we don't acknowledge the good things that God does in our life. In fact, too often we take credit for them, don't we? God, I know I prayed to you about that certain thing, but it worked out. I did this and it worked out, so thanks, but I didn't need you. That's sometimes the way I feel. Do we ascribe to God what he's due? Do we ascribe him for credit for the good fortunes that come in our lives? Anyway, that was something that really struck me. We'll keep reading. Worship the Lord in holy attire. Does he mean our clothes? Holy attire? I don't think he cares what we wear. That's my thinking. Some people disagree. I remember my parents would have not agreed with that. I think when he says worship the Lord in holy attire, what comes to me are, what am I to be clothed in? In good deeds, in honor to him, in humbleness. I'm to be clothed in righteousness because of the blood of the Lamb. I'm to let Jesus shine through me. So I'm to clothe myself in the very persona of Jesus. I think that's what when he says, worship the Lord in holy attire, that's what it means to me. Tremble before him, all the nations. So we're going to sing a song that I love, and I think it really fits this as well. Let the beauty of Jesus be seen in me. All of his wonderful passion and purity. Make his spirit divine, all my being refine. Let the beauty of Jesus be seen in me. When somebody has been so unkind to you, some words flowing and pierces you through and through. Think how he was the God, stand upon every cloud. Let the beauty of Jesus be seen in you. From the dawn of the morning to close of day, in example it needs and in all you say, lay your gifts at his feet, ever strive to be sweet. Let the beauty of Jesus be seen in you. Staying in Psalm 96. Say among the nations, the Lord reigns. Indeed, the world is firmly established, and it will not be moved. He will judge the peoples with equity. Let the heavens be glad, and let the earth rejoice. Let the sea roar, and all in it. Let the field exult, and all that is in it. Then all the trees of the forest will sing for joy before the Lord, for he is coming. For he is coming to judge the earth. He'll judge the world in righteousness, and the people in his faithfulness. Are you singing for joy for the judgment? I don't know. I don't think about it that much in that way. But when judgment comes, we can look forward to his judgment. If we put our faith in him, we can. And that's when he will set it all right. He will judge with all righteousness. And he'll judge the people in his faithfulness. Let's move on. Psalms 100. Lots of songs from Psalms 100. In fact, when Mary and I were going through the songbook looking for songs, there's a reference in the back of the songbook that has it by Scripture. And we were looking through the Psalms 90 through 106. And there's 30-something songs in the book that are attributed to book 4. Book 4. And what was amazing was, as much as we've sung, in churches all ours, and I grew up in a lot of different places, I didn't know half of them that are in our book, but we knew a lot of them. And Psalms 100 has a whole bunch of songs attributed to it. We're going to sing 2, and I think you'll see how they fit in when we do. But let's start with this. Verse 1 through 3. Shout joyfully to the Lord, all the earth. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come before him with joyful singing. Know that the Lord himself is God. It is he who has made us, and not we ourselves. We are his people and the sheep of his pasture. All right, Chad, let's sing the next one. I am a sheep and the Lord is my shepherd, watching over my soul to keep guarding over me ever, watching wherever I go. And when the wind blows, he is my shelter. When I'm lost and alone, he rescues me. And when the lion comes, he is my victory, constantly watching over me. He's constantly watching over me. We are his children and he is our Father, watching over our soul. Great is his love for his sons and his daughters, watching wherever we go. And when the winds blow, he is my shelter. When I'm lost and alone, he rescues me. And when the lion comes, he is my victory, constantly watching over me. He is constantly watching over me. Let's continue in Psalm 100. Enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise. I bet you can guess the song, right? Give thanks to him, bless his name, for the Lord is good. His loving kindness is everlasting, and his faithfulness to all generations. Ready, Chad? Yeah. I will enter his gates with thanksgiving in my heart. I will enter his courts with praise. I will say this is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice, for he has made me glad. He has made me glad. He has made me glad. I will rejoice, for he has made me glad. He has made me glad. He has made me glad. I will rejoice, for he has made me glad. This is going faster than I thought it would, so you guys may have a lot of time until the end here. So let's go to Psalms 101. This is a psalm of David that's in here. There's not many that have his name in this book, but this one has David's name to it. So we know a little bit about the man. Psalms 101, he reigns, so I will live blamelessly. Let's start in verse 1. I will sing of love and kindness and justice. To you, O Lord, I will sing praises. I will give heed to the blameless way. That phrase really struck me, the blameless way. When will you come to me? I will walk within my house in the integrity of my heart. I will set no worthless thing before my eyes. I hate the work of those who fall away. It shall not fasten its grip on me. A perverse heart shall depart from me. I will know no evil. Whoever secretly slanders his neighbor, him I will destroy. No one who has a haughty look and an arrogant heart will I endure. My eyes shall be upon the faithful of the land, that may dwell with me. He who walks in a blameless way is the one who will minister to me. He who practices deceit shall not dwell within my house. He who speaks falsehood shall not maintain his position before me. Every morning I will destroy all the wicked of the land, so as to cut off from the city of the Lord all those who do iniquity. Was this always David's heart? There was a time it wasn't. Right? Give heed to the blameless way. He'll set no worthless thing before his eyes. Can you see it? That what he had been through when he sinned with Bathsheba, and all the lies and the murder and all the things that occurred after that, that he set his heart. I think this was after that. Who knows? That's me. But it sure sounds like it. It sure sounds like someone who said, I've lived that way of life. I'm putting that behind me, and I'm going to follow him. This idea of giving heed to the blameless way. We have secret sins, all of us do, things that we don't want anybody to know about. David set his heart to struggle with those, to overcome them. He set his heart to set no worthless thing before his eyes, to hate. And he also set his heart to not have those around him who did those things. He learned, I'm not going to have anybody in my court that's like that. I don't want anybody talking to me or advising me that's like that. I'm not going to get good advice from them. And they could cause me to stray, so I'm not going to let that happen. How many of us know anybody, or maybe ourselves, who wished that had happened? That we'd set aside and not been around or had around us, or they had around them, people who led them astray. We know that he was successful in this because in 1 Kings chapter 9, God's talking to his son, Solomon. And he says, and he's offering him the same promise that he gave to David. So in verse 3, I have heard your prayer and your supplication which you have made before me. I have consecrated this house which you have built by putting my name there forever, and my eyes and my heart will be there perpetually. As for you, if you will walk before me as your father David walked, in integrity of heart and uprightness, doing according to all I have commanded you, and will keep my statutes and my ordinances, then I will establish the throne of your kingdom over Israel forever. God is telling Solomon, your dad got it right. David walked with integrity of heart and uprightness. Is there anything a father would like more than to hear that? Someone say to their children, or a mother for that matter, someone say to their children, your parents, your dad, your mom, they walked in integrity. I've seen them upright. I've seen them do according. I've known them for years, and I've seen them do according to what God says. In this case, it's God saying it, so you know it's true. David lived the life that he ascribed to in Psalms 101. He lived the blameless way. Was he perfect? Absolutely not. We know that. He wasn't even perfect after all the sin with Bathsheba. But he walked the blameless way. And that's the walk and the way that we're called to walk as well. Talking to myself, talking to you, if I have those things in my life that aren't walking in that way, if I have worthless things in front of me that I have put there and I admire, I've got to struggle with that. I've got to get rid of that. That's what he's calling us to do. That's what God calls us to do. That's what David calls us to do in this psalm. Okay, we'll sing a song now.
The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. The Lord is my portion and my soul. Therefore I will hope in him. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. The Lord is my portion and my soul. Therefore I will hope in him. Therefore I will hope in him.
Psalms 102. He reigns and will answer when the afflicted calls. Psalms 102 is from a different perspective. The writer of this, it says it's the prayer of an afflicted man for mercy on himself and on Zion. And maybe right now you're feeling afflicted. I don't know. Or maybe you have in the past. Maybe you will tomorrow. We never know, right? All we know is that in our life, affliction will occur. Things will happen. And if you're struggling with that right now, in the middle of it, we've all been there. This writer of this psalm had certainly been there. So we're going to read a little bit of this one. Hear my prayer, O Lord, and let my cry for help come to you. Do not hide your face from me in the day of my distress. Incline your ear to me. In the day when I call, answer me quickly. For my days have been consumed in smoke, and my bones have been scorched like a hearth. My heart has been smitten like grass, and has withered away. Indeed, I forgot to eat my bread. Because of the loudness of my groaning, my bones cling to my flesh. I resemble a pelican in the wilderness. It's out of place, right? I have become like an owl of the waste places. I've got nothing to eat. There's no food there. I lie awake. I have become like a lonely bird on a housetop. My enemies have reproached me all day long. Those who deride me have used my name as a curse. For I have eaten ashes like bread and mingled my drink with weeping. Because of your indignation and your wrath, for you have lifted me up and cast me away. My days are like a lengthened shadow, and I wither away like grass. But you, O Lord, abide forever, and your name to all generations. You will arise and have compassion on Zion, for it is time to be gracious to her, for the appointed time has come. So the writer of this is not only, as the title of it says, not only asking mercy for himself. Lord, I've been afflicted too long enough. He's also praying for Zion, for his people. Lord, show us some mercy. We're going to sing Abide With Me.
Abide with me, fast fall asleep in time. The darkness deepens, Lord, with me abide. When other helpers fail and comforts flee, help on
Forgot there was that one in there. It's hard when you're in that place, though, when it's happening to you. And maybe it's a health failing, or maybe it's something happening with your family or a friend. Maybe it's a job problem. Maybe it's a relationship problem with your spouse or your kids. It's really hard in that circumstance to wait and trust in God, isn't it? You feel afflicted. It's hard to eat, as this writer said. It hurts. I love the way the Psalms are written. They're written in song, and so therefore there's some poetry to them that really, we humans are made that touches us when we read them. After this study, I intend to read the Psalms a lot more often. I'll admit I didn't read them a lot. I think there's a lot of comfort there and a lot of learning, and it speaks to us in a way that the other scriptures don't. All right, next one is Psalms 104. This is a rather lengthy psalm. But he reigns over all the world and cares for it. There's just some wonderful imagery in this song, and so we're going to read some of it. It's talking about the Creator and how He created the world and how He makes it work. And it's amazing to think about that. Have you all ever heard scientists say, well, we've probably pretty much learned everything we can in this space, right? In this area, we've got the science down. And it kind of makes me laugh because I know what's going to happen. Someone's going to discover something else in an area not too long. God's made this incredibly complex, as deep as man can delve, and He's given us the curiosity to look, and we're always digging, right? We're always digging out truth. That we thought we knew everything, and all of a sudden no, all that wasn't true. This is true, and this is going to be permanent because I know this is the final truth. And we kind of laugh because, all right, maybe in our lifetime, maybe in our children's lifetime, it'll be changed. Well, that was true, but this is truer. This is more. It's deeper. And God made the world that way so that man, with his curiosity and his intellect, just keeps digging in all different directions, in science, in music, in literature, in every way, and will never reach the end of it. Never reach the end of it. Because God created this world that way. And it's incredible to think about. It's incredible to that all the thoughts of man are just mere breath. We haven't touched it yet. We haven't gotten to it yet. There's a whole lot more there still to be delved out. This psalm talks about God the Creator. So we're going to read some of it, and then we're going to sing a song, and that'll be the end of it. Okay? So we'll sing that last song really slow and stretch it out over 20 minutes if y'all want, or we can just talk after that. We'll do whatever you want. But let's read this psalm. Bless the Lord, O my soul. O Lord my God, you are very great. You are clothed with splendor and majesty, covering yourself with light as with a cloth, stretching out heaven like a tent curtain. He lays the beams of his upper chambers in the waters. He makes the clouds his chariots. He walks upon the wings of the wind. He makes the winds his messenger, flaming fire his ministers. He established the earth upon its foundations so that it will not totter forever and ever. You covered it with the deep as with a garment. The waters were standing above the mountains. At your rebuke they fled. At the sound of your thunder they hurried away. The mountains rose, the valleys sank to the place which you established for them. You set a boundary that they may not pass over, so that they will not return to cover the earth. He sends forth springs in the valley. They flow between the mountains. They give drink to every beast of the field. The wild donkeys quench their thirst. Beside them the birds of the heavens dwell. They lift up their voices among the branches. He waters the mountains from his upper chambers. The earth is satisfied with the fruit of his works. He causes the grass to grow for the cattle and vegetation for the labor of man, so that he may bring forth food from the earth, and wine that makes man's heart glad, so that he may make his face glisten with oil, and food which sustains man's heart. The trees of the Lord drink their fill, the cities of Lebanon which he planted, where the birds build their nest, and the storks, whose home is the fir trees. The high mountains are for the wild goats. The cliffs are a refuge for the Shephanim, and I read that means rabbits. At least that's what this person said. He made the moon for the seasons. The sun knows the place of its setting. You appoint darkness, and it becomes night, in which all the beasts of the forest prowl about, and young lions roar after their prey and seek their food from God. When the sun rises, they withdraw and lie down in their dens. Man goes forth to his work and to his labor until evening. O Lord, how many are your works? In wisdom you have made them all. The earth is full of your possessions. There is the sea, great and broad, in which are swarms without number, animals both small and great. There the ships move about, and Leviathan, which you have formed to sport in it. They all wait for you to give them their food in due season. You give it to them, and they gather it up. You open your hand, and they're satisfied with good. A lot of our world looks at that earth that was described there and says, it all happened by chance. Yes, there's inner workings among this, but it wasn't by design. We know different. Our world is a testament to God's, just his ingenuity, to his creativity, to his intellect, to his ability to create anything. And the birds, when they pluck down and take something and eat it, a bug, or the cows, when they're eating the grass, it's by God's design that all that occurs around us. And we're able to go and get what we need to eat. We don't get it from the field anymore. It kind of comes, third or fourth hand to us, but we still get it from there. And he opens his hand, and they're satisfied with good. I think too often we don't think about that, about how this world, everything in this world. It made me think about the chipmunks in my yard because I hate them. But I don't know if you got them or not, but they're there by design too, I guess. Of course, I might do something about that, but they're there by design. We're going to sing the last song, This Is My Father's World, which is
This is my Father's world, and to my listening ears, all nature sings and round me rings the music of the spheres. This is my Father's world, I rest in the fall across centuries from skies and seas. His hand the wonders wrought. This is my Father's world. The birds their carols raise. The morning light of lily white declares their Maker's praise. This is my Father's world. He shines in all that's fair. In the rustling grass I hear him pass. He speaks to me everywhere.
Thank you.